Hello friends, folks and viewers, Charles here at JazzOCRathLete and of course at Urban Athlete Fitness. I'm going to come at you with a new series, right? As you all know by now, I'm a corrective exercise and movement specialist, all right? By the way, you can find me here in Wilmington, North Carolina, so make sure you reach out to me if you're looking for some services and want to learn a little bit more about your body. You can check out one of my, my other videos and talk all about the assessment. All right, but moving on, one of the things we're going to learn is foam rolling. Now, what I've noticed on YouTube is it's a lot easier to find out how to foam roll incorrectly than correctly, right? So there are some videos out there, right? But you gotta have to get that algorithm or just try to search for the right words, using the right keywords to kind of let you hone in on the right way. So I'm gonna start a new series on foam rolling. I'm going to teach you how to foam roll all the parts of your upper body, all the parts of your lower body. I'm not going to do that all in one video because it would take, quite a long time. It'll be a little extensive, but I'm going to start with just a couple of body parts at a time, or I'll just at least do upper body, lower body, something like that. So today we're going to start with just the introduction to foam rollers, right? And we'll do some back and some upper body movements, okay? So you have different kinds of grades of foam rollers. You have this really soft, kind of foam roller here. It's for beginners, or if someone's a little old and they just really can't lean on a very dense foam. This is a really good way to start. This is really good for legs in the beginning, for someone who's never foam rolled before, or they're really sore or tender. This is probably the way to go. I personally don't ever use these. Most of my clients don't use these. It's really not that necessary to buy. If you're going to buy a foam roller, I would say just choose one of these other ones first. But if you've never foam rolled before and it's uncomfortable and painful for you, then I would say start with this beginner one. Okay, then you have the next one. It's also pretty dense, but not as dense as this one per se, right? So this is kind of like that medium, right? A little bit medium to, soft medium, right? You can still squeeze, you got a little give there. This is still perfectly fine. It's definitely suitable. I would use this one as well. I keep this one in my car actually. Definitely for beginners or beginner intermediate. All right, then you have this one. And this one's about, it's like $15 or $16, Amazon Basics, right? This is a standard foam roller, two feet long, right? This is definitely the size you want to go with. This one is going to be used for pretty much your everyday use, your everyday for your back, for your legs. This is kind of the way to go. This could be where it starts to get hurt a little bit more. It's when you start using this one. But that's what you want, right? When you learn more about foam rolling, you got to realize what it's doing for you. You're going to realize this is what you're going to need. I personally use this one most, right? So this is by Trigger Point. This has it's like a grid. They call this a grid foam roller, and this kind of mimics fingertips, right? And this mimics, your hands, and this would mimic a palm, kind of rubbing against your legs, right? So you could just change this accordingly. You just kind of shift it around when you want to, be on your leg, for example, your calf. If you want to dig in there a little bit more, you're gonna get here, right? And you're gonna feel those bumps, right? We don't need those really big, aggressive knobs, right? I don't understand when people get on those. I don't get that at all. I don't think there's even a place for them in fitness and releasing, because there's nothing those are going to do that these can't do. So it's just torture, right? Insult to injury in a way to use those ones with the big knobs on them. So I say just go with this. This is all really you're going to need for your foam rolling purposes, all right? So one of the things we talk about is when we talk about foam rolling, what we're doing is an SMR, self-myofascial release. So myofascia, right? Fascia is just a layer over your muscles, right? That usually gets knotted up, right? So we feel those knots and we just feel tender, it hurts, there's pain. And so we want to release those points, right? Let's just think about this as a knot, right? We're going to push down the pressure until that knot just releases, right? And that's essentially what we're doing in our body, right? We find somewhere, whether it's up here or on our hamstring or our lats, our calves, we just try to find a knot, put constant pressure, and then release, right? And if we don't, right, and we just roll over it, like if you went into like a CrossFit gym or a big box gym, you see people just jump on a roller, and they're gonna roll on every single part of their body, doesn't matter what it is, right? All the way to the lower back, which hurts, right? Because now I'm rolling on kidneys, right? Rule of thumb, we don't want to roll on kidneys, and we don't want to roll on ribs. So no organs, no ribs. I mean, we stay on that mid back to upper back, right? So we don't just jump on rollers and go, right? It's just like rolling over a speed bump, ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Not gonna do anything, right? We just need constant pressure and then release, right? So that's one of the big mistakes I usually see when people go on a foam roller. Another thing is, think about your muscle fibers, okay? These are muscles, right? Because muscles have fibers. So think about this as a lines, right? Your muscles move efficiently, right? Contracting and and then relaxing, right? So what happens if we have a knot or just some tightness, right? We have like tightness, something here, right? The muscles kind of get stuck. They don't move efficiently anymore. It doesn't kind of flow like it's supposed to, or it may go around it, right? And sometimes muscle tightness can get so bad that down the line it can create some bone manipulation, right? That's how bad it can get. So we need to release these muscles. And every time I see these guys, like Aaron Rodgers, for example, right? He tore his Achilles doing not much, but you know what? He's probably not doing this. Shame on him, or shame on any of these athletes that are getting hurt doing what they're supposed to be doing, because they probably don't have the proper strength coach, right? I always say to myself, wow, that guy needs to hire me, right? Because I can help these guys not get hurt, right? Especially not get hurt doing the things you're supposed to be doing, right? I get it. Sometimes in football or these contact sports like basketball or hockey, sometimes it's unavoidable, right? There's collisions, things happen, you're in space, right? You get hit while you're just flying, you're defenseless, and you can get hurt, right? But if you're just kind of moving around and shifting from side to side and you pull a muscle, that's your fault, right? That's something you did wrong, and you're not doing these proper techniques. So that's why we want to incorporate foam rolling into our day-to-day life, into our daily routine. And there's one thing about foam rolling, or SMR, or just release techniques, right? Trigger point. That's another way to say it, right? We're not just rolling. When people hear the term foam rolling, they're thinking, okay, we're just gonna get on and roll. No, we're actually doing trigger point release, something that a massage therapist can do. And so instead of paying all that money for a massage therapist to put all that pressure and just spend all that time on one spot, we could just do it by ourselves with these roller or a ball, a softball, a crossball, all different tools that we can use for SMR, right? Foam rolling is just one of those easy, accessible ones. It's not very expensive. And guess what? Unlike a lot of things in fitness, okay, when you foam roll and when you release, you get the results now, instant, right? It hurts, right? Foam rolling could be, it's slow, it's tedious, it's painful. Those are not characteristics of things that we voluntarily do, right? We don't want to do those things when something sounds like that, right? But guess what? Like, we get the results now. There's not many things you can do in life that, where we have a goal, right? And we get the results instantly. When we do some SMR, some trigger point, we feel better now, right? You're gonna feel like there's blood flowing in your legs. It's gonna feel like in your body, you're gonna move better, right? You're gonna have better blood flow. You're gonna have less limitations, and your natural human movement is gonna kind of be restored. And that's really the goal is, right? To get our posture back. And one of the easiest, quickest ways to do that is one of these. So I would love anyone to argue me with that. It's great. I know there's some physical therapists out there that don't believe in them, but most do. But it's funny that a lot of trainers don't, and a lot of physical therapists don't. But I'll die on that hill and say these are great, right? You couldn't find these in gyms 10 years ago. Now there's not a gym in the world that probably doesn't have them, right? There's a reason for that, right? Because these actually do work. So that's your introduction for foam rollers and what types you can use. This one's going to cost you around 70 bucks. This is a pretty expensive one. It's still not super hard. It's not really much harder than this one. Just keep that in mind. But just has these grids, so it could be a little bit more aggressive. But I love this, and this one's what I use more than any of them. And of course, those two are just other options. So let me know what you think about that. Check out my other videos coming up about different body parts, how to foam roll. I'm gonna go over each one in detail, and this way you can kind of follow along with me and get it done yourself. All right, thanks again for tuning in. My name is Charles, Jazz OCR Athlete, also at Urban Athlete Fitness here in North Carolina. And see you next episode. Peace. Let's go.